Hello and welcome to the DC United Kingdom podcast. This is season 3, episode 6, and I'm your host, James Graham. Um, as you'll see, alongside me, I've got a returning guest. Yes,
Yes,
he,
sir.
he scored an amazing goal last season against Toronto. I think that was your first MLS goal. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, MLS goal,
Yes.
correct.
What a goal that was! And welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to be here for the second time. The first time was great. Hoping the second time is going to be just as good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I've been well.
Yeah. I mean, we just had a quick chat beforehand. Saying you've had a couple of injuries in pre-season, but you're all fit and healthy, ready for the new season.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just some minor knocks coming off of preseason, but nothing too extensive. A week, 2 weeks max. So yeah, I'm ready for the season. As you can see, the guys are ready for the season. I mean, we came out flying.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
That was just so amazing.
yeah,
I just want to say, obviously, since the last time you were on, there's been quite a lot of change. I think it was August last year you were on. So we had coaching change. Well, we had technically 2 coaching changes.
correct. Yeah,
Chad coming in as an interim head coach, and now Hernán Lozada. Obviously, fans have not been in the stadium, but now they're back. Obviously, limited capacity.
yes.
And
Let's
that's
go.
first time since Miami last year, which
Amazing.
is just unreal. It's been
It was
over a
amazing.
year. Yeah. How amazing. What I know you said it was amazing, but how amazing was it?
Incredible. I mean, I kind of went through, my first year, I had tons of fans, no COVID. It was full packed. We had Wayne. It was like, yeah, everyone was coming to the games. It was insane. And then it flipped to no one was in the stands. And I kind of liked it a little bit because it was like, I was a little bit younger. It was still my second year. And I was like less nerves. I mean, I'm kind of just playing.
Yeah.
But I kind of did end up missing it towards the end, the whole like just rush of like even out for warmups, like when you're going out for warmups and like everyone just cheering as soon as you enter the field, it's like it's game day. Like it just puts you in that mood almost.
Yeah. It's I know this is going to be a sort of a weird question, but because there was not many people in the supporter section in the Chico stand, did that mean that there was more atmosphere around the ground? Because I know that down that section, that's usually where the noise comes from. But
yeah, I think different? I mean they still the supporters that were in that section, they were pretty loud. I mean, they made it. They kept it going. I think. Yeah. I mean, you could definitely hear them more than everyone else, but I think it did, make the entire stadium a bit more filled out, to be honest, just so you could, spread everyone out a little bit more.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. That means that once everyone is back, that the whole entire stadium
it's going to be rocking.
Brings the noise.
It's going to be rocking.
Yeah. Because for me, for that kind of atmosphere, I've only really seen it at Audi Field potentially only once really, and that was the Columbus playoff game. And that really, I mean, I stayed up till I think it was about 3:30 in the morning. Pretty much the same as the weekend, to be honest. But it really put the hairs on my arms on edge, and it was so electric. So fingers crossed we can get back to that.
Missing that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yes, I stayed up till 3:30 on Sunday morning watching the game.
I always forget about the time change.
Oh, mate, this season is just ridiculous. I mean, you've got your San Jose Earthquakes game coming up soon.
Yeah.
And that got pushed back an hour.
Gosh.
That's a 4 a.m. kickoff for me.
4 a.m. kick. Wow. So are you going to go to sleep are you going to make it like before? And it's going to be an early morning or a late night?
It's going to be a very early morning. I ain't doing a late night on that one because I probably will be staying up for 24 hours if I did that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going down that road.
Yeah.
I did that for the Montreal Impact game at the MLS's back tournament. Actually, I shouldn't probably call them Impact anymore. It's Is it Club Football de Montreal or something like
I'm
that?
not even sure. Their new logo is sweet though.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
To me, it lacks a little bit of flair.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree.
It's not as good as ours.
No, of course not. Of course not.
It doesn't have 4 stars above the
match. Of course. Of course. What really matters.
So, I think the question everyone wants to know, though, is we got that win at the weekend, which was just an absolute amazing game for everyone to watch. It was such a change in style of football, but how was the locker room after the game?
I mean, it was you couldn't even imagine. I mean, you probably saw a couple of the clips that got released of us kind of on the field.
Yeah.
And Hernán obviously saying a couple of words, and I mean,
he did say a couple of words.
Yeah.
Got blanked out, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're not holding back at all. I mean, we were pumped. It's been a long time coming for sure. I mean, to feel that victory and to feel, us really putting into the game, what we were doing in training, doing all of this work and preparing and then being able to do it in the game and see it come out. It's just like so satisfying, almost just like we're on the right path. Even that first half was just like, we were flying.
Oh,
I mean, it probably took us, 15 minutes to, get going, get the flow of things. But once we were going, I mean, even the second half as well. I mean, we just continued just steamrolling.
I mean, the fact that we only had 38% possession.
The chances created for us,
yeah.
I mean,
but
we were dangerous the whole game.
We were in control and we only had 38% possession. So
yeah,
that says a lot about it's not not the amount of ball you have, it's what you do with it that counts.
100%. Yeah. And if you saw the statistics, we actually had 4 or I think 5 of our guys, I think the top 3 guys in the whole league who ran the most were on our team.
Wow.
Eddie, Russ, and Mora were the top 3. And then I think Jules was in there at like 7. Yeah. Sorga was the other one in there. So that's, the top 10 in the whole league. We've got 4 of them. And it's like, it just shows the work that we've put in and the like you said, the control we had over the game, even if it wasn't 38 possession, we were, working harder than we were never in danger. We were never, panicked.
No, not at all. And like you said, it took us about 15 minutes to get going. Yes, we went a goal down after the 13th minute, which was a bit unlucky.
Yeah,
I will admit.
I agree. It was kind of just like a burst of it was off a throw-in. Throw-ins are so sporadic. Just anything can happen.
Yeah. But the character that you guys showed to come back, not go downhearted, is like an early goal that we conceded. Come back, absolute fighting. And Heinz Ike, I mean, I've got to ask,
Pogba.
Does he do that in training?
Pogba. I mean, he hasn't that I've seen. I mean, maybe. I mean, the center backs, when we play small-sided, they can smash the ball into the goal. But that's, like I said, small-sided when the goals are a little bit closer. That was a far shot.
Yeah.
That was a screamer.
I think it was 28 yards, I think, off the top of my head.
Like, that was – no. I was calling him Pogba for the next 3 days. It was insane. I mean,
I mean, I was sat here. I mean, I can't shout and scream because I'll end up waking the little baby.
Yeah.
But I'm just really just getting fired up. I'm watching it along with a couple of the guys over here. And we're literally just all what the happened just there.
Yeah.
Because that was just insane. Such a great goal.
Yeah.
And then to follow it up 5 minutes later.
100%. And the thing is, we've been working on that all week. I mean, you can obviously tell it was set up.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the right place. The ball was perfect from Jules. And I mean, the thing is, we'd been working on it all week and we hadn't scored on it. Like, we've been close and he had hit that. And it was just kind of like, if it's on, and just like in the game, like perfect to see it just executed was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, and you're right. You could tell it was something that you'd been training on, but it was just how easy it looked as well.
Yeah.
The fact that there was no defenders on him.
No, he didn't even he didn't even come across the ball and smack it. It was just kind of like a place, like inside of the foot,
side foot into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't have done it any better, really.
No.
I've been waiting for him to score something like that.
Yeah.
For a long time.
What a game from Russ it was as well. Just overall.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, his engine is just
insane.
He
was top 3. He was number 2 in the league. It's just like,
I think everyone had a good game.
I
don't think anyone had a bad game.
No.
Sites was really good and goal, coming up with a great save at the end of the game. Hindsight,
everyone had their moments, honestly.
Yeah. Briant, steady as ever.
Class.
Yeah.
100%. Even Sorga. I mean, I liked he was just like, it was just energy up top. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every time he got the ball, it was just something.
Yeah. And even if when he hasn't got the ball, he's always chasing it down as well.
100%. Yeah. He was on the list too for that. It was just like we had obviously a great preseason.
It's just let's talk a little bit about the preseason, because again, as we spoke just before we started recording, you picked up a couple of knocks, but in that first game against Greenfield Triumph, you set up Kamani Smith for his first goal.
Yeah, it was a really great game, honestly. I mean, that whole trip was super, just like, I mean, I'm really glad we took that trip. At first I was kind of like, why are we, because we usually go to Clearwater and it's not just for a week. We go for, a month and then come back, and it's 2 more weeks. But it was kind of odd. I was like, oh, like North Carolina, but getting away from Audi, it's just like a DC. I mean, it's just a new, like, you're with the team, you're working, you're there for that reason only.
Yeah.
And it just kind of put me in that mindset, and that whole week was really good. And then, like I said, leading up to that game, it was really good. And in the game, I was able to assist Kamarni.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was overall just super good. But end of the game, some guy, like last 5 minutes, I intercepted a ball, and he kind of went to foul me a little bit and ended up falling on the back of my leg and just ankle flattened.
It's never a good time when that happens. It's something bad is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
That's whether it's your calf or your ankle. Or
exactly. I know. I just felt big pain as soon as he fell on my leg, and I was just like, oh, that's something, like you said. That's not good, just anything. And it turned out it was a high ankle sprain, which actually kind of sucked, because that's the worst. That's the longest.
Okay.
But I mean, it's all right. I'm back from it now. I mean, I still have some pain, but I just get it wrapped, taped super nice.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
So, and Kamani, I've got to ask something, because I know he's from Nottingham over here in England.
Yes.
Does he still have an English accent?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I love it. Yeah, I love his English accent. I always like bust on him for a couple of times and try to like do my own little impression. You know what I mean? But it's just,
now you've said that, you've got to do a little impression.
Nah. I'm terrible at it. I don't do an impression. I just like imitate certain words he says that I think are funny. Like, I can't even think of it. I can't even think of the words he says. But he says things that are different than, you know what I mean, than things that are called here. Like, you know how chips are called, or fries are called chips.
Yeah, we call them chips. You call them fries.
Yeah, and crisps.
And we have crisps, and you have chips.
Yeah, it's stuff like that, and it's hilarious.
And I think there's what we call biscuits. You call them cookies. I think
biscuits. Yeah.
Biscuits.
Well, cookies.
I don't know what but I know you guys don't call them biscuits. But
like a chocolate chip cookie. What do you call that?
Biscuit.
But a chocolate chip biscuit or just biscuit?
Just biscuit. I mean, I call them just biscuits. I mean, there is a whole different range of biscuits. I mean, he's a good one. Listeners, or if you're watching this on YouTube, put down what your favorite biscuit is, or cookie, or off that. I want to know.
Like, I like biscuits, honestly.
Yeah, I have to admit.
You got me.
For me, it's a
biscuits.
I don't know whether you get them over there, but there's something called a hobnob.
No idea. No idea.
It's the king of dunking in a cup of coffee or a cup of tea.
Really?
You can just keep dunking them, and it will never fall in.
Wow.
It
doesn't crumble.
It doesn't crumble. No.
Oh.
It doesn't fall flat in.
That's pretty good.
it's if you can find them, try them. It'll change your life.
I'll try them. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Kamarni, he's That's one of my very close friends on the team. I mean, I had a connection with him because he went to Clemson, and I knew their goalie on that team because his younger brother lives I'm friends with their entire family, the goalie of that team. His younger brother went to elementary school with me.
Yeah.
And it was just, And so I reached out to Kamarni pretty early on. Yeah. And we've had a really good connection. I mean, he's great. Awesome. And he's a great player, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
Already has 2 goals.
Leading goal scorer in our preseason.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, Sorga had a great game against Red Bulls because, thankfully, was able to listen to that game.
100%.
Couldn't watch it, but got to listen to it.
Yeah, he had a great game. He came in kind of late, but he's just a spark, honestly.
Yeah, and he's got a wild fashion sense.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Have you seen it firsthand? Have you seen it firsthand, or have you just kind of like heard from players?
It's from what all you guys have been. I mean, I've seen them on Instagram, and I've seen the content that the club puts out. But every time I asked the question, who's got the worst fashion sense, Sorga kept coming up.
It's not the worst. It's like I said last time, it's not the worst because I appreciate some of the outfits he wears. It's just the flashiest for sure.
Yes, it's definitely the most out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless him. Someone's going to put him down. Send him down a little bit. Come on.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Hernán. Obviously, he's now in the hot seat. Yep. What's it been like to work with him since he's arrived? And more importantly, what have you been able to learn from him so far?
It's been awesome. I've already learned just so much about being a professional, honestly. So much about, what real professionals, what the best players do off the field, what people don't really talk about, and what, he's really, it's the things that you don't really notice, sleep at night and nutrition, but super focused on nutrition, not just like, eat well, not just, have 3 steady meals. It's what are your steady meals? What are in them? What is, it's because that is 100% part of the game. I mean, that's your fuel in, and already since I've kind of changed my eating, I've seen a huge increase in my game.
Yeah.
And so, just something small like that I did think would have no correlation to the game is now like, a new part. And it's also, just things like that. You know what I mean? It's just being a professional, watching film and being able to learn new things like that from him and to grow just makes me a better player.
Yeah.
And so it's been honestly super, super positive.
Yeah. And because of the amount of change that he's brought in, obviously the more stringent diets and things, has that been a bit of a culture shock for some of the players?
I think yeah, for some of the players, even some of the players that were, already kind of thinking that way, that were super focused on their diet. He is ultra focused. So even they're like, oh, like I'm already doing this and this. I don't think I need to be, but they do. And it's like it's a big shock for everyone, I think. Maybe not everyone, but for most, for sure, especially all the young guys. It's because we just didn't know that, eating would have such a big effect on the game, because obviously we were all eating right. We were all eating well. We weren't eating junk food, McDonald's, terrible. But when you really concentrate on what is in each meal, it's, you see the outcome.
Yeah. So what kind of things have you been told to eat then? And what did you have before that's not there?
They say it's not that that's not there. It's just that they kind of gave us a presentation. It's everything from the earth is good.
Okay.
Everything that's natural is good. They want us to eat all things that are from the earth. The less legs, the better as far as protein.
Okay.
So for example, plant-based proteins are even the best. So, like nuts, what is it? Chickpeas, things like that. Those are the best. Then it's fish. Fish don't have any legs. So then
that's a fair point.
Then chicken, 2 legs. That's okay. And then the last one is, cows and pigs and stuff like that. So that's last.
Yeah.
But it's just, stuff like that, being super, cautious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I've been on a bit of a change in the way I eat, and I'm actually doing exercise for once. I never thought that would happen, but I've got to get rid of the dad bod. But it's even little things. I've been looking at eating less red meat. I absolutely adore beef, and that's been a bit of a struggle.
100%, yeah.
I mean, beef is great. I love putting beef on a barbecue.
I'm the same way. I mean, it's my first choice, and it's had to have stopped being my first choice recently, which kind of sucks.
But I've been seeing when I've gone to a restaurant. I know it's been a while since we've been able to do that over here, but the break that we got last year when in between the lockdowns, it was eating things like things like Moving Mountain hot dogs and the Impossible burgers and things like that. And I was just eating them like, how is this not meat? It's just it
tastes the exact same. Yeah, exactly.
I never thought I'd be like, if this is what vegan food is like, I'm all for it.
No, 100%. I mean, and it's the outcome, like how much better you feel and how much better everything is. It's night and day.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So back to Losada, because got to talk about him a bit more. What's been the most enjoyable part of the Losada reign for you?
For me, it's let me think, because there's, like I said, there's been so much positive. So let me think about the one thing. I think for me, it's like I said at the beginning, I kind of emphasized on the relationship that I now have with him. And this is obviously, no disrespect to Ben or the last coaching staff, but I just feel like, as soon as he's come in, I already have a, greater connection with him. I already have a better relationship. I'm already able to, go to him and talk to him, because obviously after my ankle injury recently, my ankle injury was the first one. And then recently in the scrimmage, I tweaked my hip a little bit. And after the hip, I was kind of down and upset.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to him that afternoon. I texted him and was just kind of like, I obviously maybe need to, change some of the things I'm doing off the field if I'm getting injured so much, or, blah, 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 blah. Just kind of stressing that I wasn't feeling happy about what had happened. And he kind of just responded like super open, super casual, and was like, you have nothing to worry about. We'll make sure that, you get back, just tons of positive affirmations. And it's just like having that, now I feel like he trusts me. I feel like when I play, he is expecting, he knows he's expecting something good. He knows something is going to, come from me.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a lot more, helpful as a player to know that when you're playing. It's just that boost of confidence almost.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you got that sort of reassurance from him as well, that he's got full 100% confidence in you. That's really good.
Yeah. Because it then gives you just that, you don't really have that fear to mess up. Obviously, you don't want to always make mistakes, but from time to time, if you do make a mistake, that you're not going to get, run into the ground, like, oh, get off the field, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It's just, I'm just trying to think about what else I can ask about him, because he's just, when I had him on the show, it just felt like he knew what he was talking about. He
was on this show.
Yeah, he was.
I need to go watch the episode. I must have missed it.
That was episode 2. It was just after Russell was on.
I saw the Russell one. That's awful. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, do many of you guys actually catch up with all the content that the supporters create?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, I've obviously been on the show.
Yep.
So it was just kind of like, I follow you and I just like see all this stuff. So it's like, but I should actually go watch the
it was really, really good, because it was not long after he landed in DC. So
So what did you get from him? You said it was just kind of like he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, when I was talking to him, he was just great. So for you guys out there, if you've not listened to it or watched it,
go and watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, because it was so good to hear from him what he wants and what he expects from the season. And it was I don't want to say it was a breath of fresh air, but it kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think that's kind of what the the guys kind of feel too. I mean, it's like I kind of said, we've been working on all this stuff, and then you can see that we can put it into the game finally. But it's good to have a real system, to have stuff that we are working on, to have, can't think of the word, like an identity almost.
Yeah.
Real quick. There we go. Like an identity almost, you know what I mean? And it just feels really good because we know what we're doing when we get to the field. We know what we're doing in training. We know what we're trying to do. We know where, what our objective is. So it's kind of like everyone's on the same page. Everyone is working together. Everyone's a team. Yeah. It's super positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up, we've got New England Revolution this weekend.
Yes.
Can you reveal about how we're going to approach that game? Are we going to go hammer and tongue like we did in the last one?
We have not. I don't think we have gone over New England Revs yet. We've just been, obviously today we had another nutrition meeting. Okay. Just pounding away at that. Like I said, another nutrition meeting. And then, earlier this week, we've just been kind of watching the film from the last game. And going over that because it was a lot of positives. And, there were still some things to work on. So some things to touch up and take into the Revs game, but I honestly, I think they did. I think they did start going over Revs today and maybe tomorrow, but I haven't been in the meetings because I obviously am injured and I've been in the treatment room just, massaging out. The meetings are more they're right before we leave for training. So it's all the guys that are training.
Yeah, fair dues. So I've got some fan questions for you because I'll let people know that you're going to come on. And we've got a few questions in. So first up, good friend, his name is Brian, and he wants to know, because he likes asking everyone, what's your order at Ben's Chili Bowl?
At Ben's Chili Bowl?
Yeah.
I've never been.
You've never been?
No.
Oh.
Is that does he ask everyone that comes on here?
I mean, pretty much. He wants
to know. Do they usually have an answer?
Most of the time. I think some people, again, like yourself, some people haven't been. But
yeah. I've never been. I should go.
You should go. Yeah. I mean, I've not been yet.
I love chili, honestly.
But next time I'm in DC, which depending on how things go in our international travel.
Yeah. Oh, it's in DC.
Yes, it's in DC.
That makes sense. I live in Virginia. So
fair. Not so easy for you to get to then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we'll ignore that question then.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. So all I know is his handle, which is Concord11. He wants to know if any of your siblings play or have played soccer, and just for me to add to that, does sport run in your family?
Yeah, actually, both my siblings play soccer. My sister was D1 at Duquesne in Pittsburgh, and my brother was D3 at Roanoke.
Okay.
Yeah, and my mom was a national champion at NC State. She played soccer. Yeah.
So soccer does really run in your family?
Yes, 100%. My mom kind of brought it to the family, but my dad is more. He is still an athlete, and he follows. I mean, he plays golf now, just because everyone plays golf. When you get into that age, it's just like who doesn't play golf?
Trying to say I'm old.
No, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to. Just when you get older, you start to play golf.
I mean, to be fair, golf was my main sport when I was younger.
Oh yeah. No, I actually have a couple of friends that are really good golfers, and they're like super serious.
I mean, Julian Gressel's a pretty good golfer.
Yeah, he's really good. And Steve Birnbaum, don't forget about him. He's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And me and Paul it's actually funny we talk about golf. Me and Paul were going to go golf before we were planning on going golf the day after the game.
Yeah.
Because we had that day off, but then I obviously got injured. So it was like, me and Paul aren't very good golfers.
No. Should get some tips from Jules.
Yeah, we should. Jules is pretty good. I've heard Jules is really good.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's been on the show, and when we were talking, we had a little bit of a golf chat.
Mm-hmm.
and he plays up like scratch, which is just, well, he might as well just turn pro.
Yeah. That's my dad is like I said, my dad's a big golfer, and he went to he goes to all the golf courses around the area, and he went to the golf course that Jules belongs at, and all the guys there had known obviously Julian, and then they realized the last name Yow when he checked in.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, like Jules is up here all the time. He's so good. He's amazing. They were just like ranting about him. So
yeah,
he's got to be. I don't know what scratch is. Like because I'm not.
In layman's terms, you've got like a par 72, which is the amount of shots you should go around the course in. If you're not so good, you probably end up going like 18 over par, so 18 shots above the average.
Okay.
Scratch is you hit par on every single hole. And someone like Tiger Woods, he would have been like, should be going around like 10 under par on average.
Okay. So Jules gets it every single time?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's class.
One thing I didn't ask him was if he had a hole in one.
My dad's had a hole in one.
It's pretty spectacular when you get one.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I've had 2 on the same hole.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, one was pure fluke.
Yeah.
It was the worst shot that you could ever hit. I mean, it comes off the bottom of the club, and you could feel the jar in your hands. It's horrible. But it just flew and just hit the pin and dropped and straight in.
Really?
Yeah. I was just like,
that's crazy.
Did anyone watching? Did that happen? And then on the set, I mean, it was a little while after, but on the same hole, just hit it. Perfect shot. Couple of bounces, backspin, and in. I was like,
Part 2.
Absolutely loved it. But now I can't enjoy it as much as I would want to, mainly because I've got a bit of a dodgy knee.
That's always terrible. Knees are just like, you need it for everything.
Yeah, they're horrendous. I mean, when you're my height and your kneecap sits a bit too high, it becomes a little bit annoying, to say the least.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
But
yeah, my dad, he played basketball also in high school, so he was a big athlete.
I'm guessing he's a big guy then.
No, actually, he was a point guard. He was kind of just, one of the quicker ones. I'm actually taller than him. He played in high school, so it wasn't, the guys weren't NBA type. He never played in college, but still, he was, he also played other sports in high school. He was all just kind of like an all-around athlete. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So next 2 questions from one person. You're getting 2 for the price of 1. So Angus has asked, first question is, what was it like training with, as he puts it, grown-ass men before you had your learner's permit? And then the second part of that is, what was it like to score Loudoun United's first ever goal?
Yeah, I'd say to answer the first question, it wasn't the best. I gotta say. I mean, it wasn't super fun, especially for me. I mean, it took me a year to realize how to be effective against, like he said, grown ass men. Because they're grown ass men, and I'm a little ass kid, and it was just like, it definitely took me like a year, because I was trying to do the same thing and get away with the same things I was doing at the academy and the youth national team level, and it wasn't working. And so it's definitely, I take back what I said. It's not that it wasn't the best. It's made me better for sure.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, now I'm able to compete and play and win against grown ass men.
Yes.
And I'm still, like I said, 18. So I feel like I'm in a good spot to be able to start, the process that early and then be where I am now. It's just, I feel good for sure.
How are you only 18? This is your 3rd year.
Yeah, it is. It's because I was signed when I was 15.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's genuinely insane. And then the second part, so scoring Loudoun United's first ever goal.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Honestly, it was a bit of a lucky goal. I mean, some people think that I honestly hit that shot and it dipped all the way down over the goalie. And people DM'd me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like, dude, your shot is insane." Like, I was like, thanks, but it hit the guy right in front of me.
Oh, you didn't take full credit?
I mean, no, of course I did. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, who hit the shot? You can see by the way I celebrated, I took full credit. It was an amazing day for sure.
Yeah. And then
100%.
So your first goal against Toronto, your first MLS goal, or your first goal for Loudoun United, what was better for you?
MLS goal.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I mean, that was
the MLS goal was so far, that's been the probably the highlight of my DC career. Yeah. I mean, even though there was no fans in the stadium, just kind of the setting and also where I was at that time.
Yeah.
I was, really battling for playing time. I was really trying to make a case for myself, and I was given that opportunity. And so when I kind of performed and made the case for myself and did that, I was just, it was obviously to score in that setting, like I said, but also for my own personal, goal and self, it was just great.
And then, did you see Paul celebrate in the stands when you scored?
Yeah, of course. That just topped it off. That just topped it off. He celebrated harder than me.
I mean, I think he celebrated harder than anyone in the world when that went in. I mean,
I could hear him actually from the 100%.
Oh, wow. I mean, I suppose it helps that there was no fans there.
Oh yeah, obviously, exactly. That's the only reason.
But I mean, I think he celebrated more than he would celebrate if he scored himself.
Yeah, he was going crazy. He was in the corner before I was, and he wasn't that far off from the torn ACL.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to everyone to see him moving around that much.
Yeah,
but
he was flying.
What is that relationship like between you and Paul then? Because to see him celebrate that hard, there must be some close connections there.
For sure. I mean, like I said, we were going to go golfing a week ago. We've definitely formed a super good, brotherhood and friendship, just because, since I was 15, it's been like 3 years now.
Yeah.
Of me knowing him, of me, being with him, and me, being able to learn from him, and, it's been really good. And like, he's picked me up from that age 15 since I first came in, and he was able to get me comfortable, get me, to know all the guys, and just help me through this process in, tons of ways.
Yeah. And
so, I mean, I'm waiting for him to get back on the field so we can play together.
Yeah. I think everyone is looking forward to seeing Paul get back on the field, because I think there was, when he went on loan to Swansea, I think everyone was thinking that's his time at DC done. And
I mean, maybe the fans, me personally, I kind of knew what was going on at Swansea. It was the loan deal wasn't that long.
No,
or even without him getting hurt, he was going to come back, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it was to the end of the championship season, so that would have been the end of May.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the one saving grace was the fact there was no loan to buy thing in there. It was just a standard loan, which you don't see that often these days. It's usually a loan to buy.
100%.
But
so I was definitely a bit disappointed though, just because I would have liked to have him through preseason and doing everything. But good opportunity. I mean, you got to take that opportunity.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, when you get the opportunity to go to Europe and play.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm over here in Europe, but
for
anyone in anyone's career to play, and especially to play in England as well, and have that opportunity to take that club to the Premiership.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly. Yeah, they're fighting to be in the Prem, so that's like,
that's a big deal. I mean,
that's huge.
If they end up going through the playoffs, they're going to earn a lot more money than they would if they won the league. Work that one out.
Yes.
How does that? Yeah. I mean, I know you in America and the sports, it's all about the playoffs and everything like that. But over here, it's all about winning the league, and then the playoffs is just like, you just don't know.
Whatever.
But now it's the richest game in football. It's ridiculous. It's hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds on the line. Until the Super League came along and tried to throw that one out. Let me pick your brains about that. So, in America, how much coverage did that get? The Super League and the fallout from it as well.
It got a ton of, coverage. What it did is it just kind of blew up on social media. Everyone was pissed. I mean, everyone was just so mad, honestly.
Yes.
It took me a little while to pick up on the whole, concept of why everyone was mad. Everyone kind of had to explain to me the whole details of things. But then, I obviously realized very soon. And yeah, I mean, there probably hasn't been that as much of a, public outbreak as there was in Europe. I mean, you saw people like putting up banners and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, like I said, it was just kind of people on social media just going crazy.
Yeah. And what were your personal thoughts on it?
My personal thoughts, I mean, I don't agree with it, but I agree with what kind of the concept, but they could be doing it in a better way, I believe. Yep. Because they're right about, the numbers in soccer are dropping and the money that the clubs have lost that they could be earning back. But there's, like I said, there's a better way to do it. And it was funny. We had a conversation at lunch, a couple of us, Adrian Perez, and a couple of others, but he was the one actually that was talking about that topic. And he was just saying, like, if the Super League did happen, would you watch it? Yes. 100%. I mean, like, are you going to miss Real Madrid or Barcelona versus Man U? I mean, you're probably not going to miss it, but like I said, and like he also agreed with, there's a better way to be formatting that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, the timing was not good, especially the fact that we're still in this pandemic. A lot of countries are still in lockdown.
Yeah.
I think that was the icing on the cake for it, because the rumors of this Super League have been going on for years. Absolute years. But the timing of it was awful. The amount of
definitely not.
And it was all about the money.
All about the money. That was kind of the worst part. It was all about the money. It was 100% money.
Yeah. I mean,
they were right about, ruining the game when you just make it about money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you've got the clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid, who are almost $1 billion euros in debt.
Yeah.
And you got to think, well, how have you managed to get yourself there in the first place? And two, why aren't you doing stuff to cost cut?
Yeah.
Rather than just looking to bring more money in.
Yeah. 100%.
So
it's just 100%.
So, but anyway, that's Super League. It's in the can for now.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's dead.
Hallelujah.
It is dead.
Yes. And we still got the Champions League, which is, from the brief things that I've read about it, is basically the Super League.
Yeah. Yep.
So we get the Super League either way.
Yeah.
So there you
exactly.
go. And then that is a way to end the show. So just before we do actually end, a message for the fans for the rest of for 2021. What is it going to be?
Let's see. That 2021 is a new year, and that 2021 is the year of DC United. 100%. This season, I mean, you can see it in the first game.
Yeah.
This is we're coming with a new mentality. We're coming different. That's how I'm ending it. We're coming different.
We're coming different. There we go. And that'll be the title of the episode.
Yes.
I like it. Well, thanks, Griffin, for taking the time to come onto the show.
For sure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And to all of you listening or watching out there, thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure doing this show. And if you're not following on the socials, follow me on Twitter at DC United Kingdom, Instagram and Facebook. It's at DC United Kingdom FC. And if you want some lovely, lovely merchandise, the link is in the description or in the show notes. So thank you very much. And until next time, Vamos United.